Hey, this is Nathan Crane, founder of the Panacea community, and welcome to Conscious Intuitive Living. In today's episode, I've got such a pleasure to introduce to you Mark Romero. He's a internationally known energy sound healer, guitarist, and master teacher of life. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's excited to be on the air with you.
Absolutely. And just for everybody out there who has never heard of Mark, Mark's helped thousands of people worldwide to experience instantaneous healings and shifts in their perceptions. He's worked with people like Dr. Bruce Lipton, Marianne Williamson, T. Harv Eker, Mark Victor Hansen, the Dharma Foundation, just to name a few. So, we have such a great honor to have Mark on our show today, and we've got a real treat for you. So stay tuned. So, Mark, I wanted to ask you, can you give us a little background about how you got involved in, becoming a sound healer and kind of exactly what that means?
Well, it certainly wasn't my intention. Life always throws us little twists and turns that are contrary to our best plans. I always kind of jokingly say, well, I'm a recovered corporaholic. I'm a former CEO, executive manager, corporate guy, 19 years in the high tech industry, and had achieved, at least from that definition, great success. Other than the fact, yeah, I was making good money, but I lacked the fulfillment, the joy, and the passion in my life. So 10 years ago, I left to go find myself and discover what my life purpose was and really find a way to step into that and to fulfill that and utilize it as a way to help people on their journey through life, which is something I've always had a passion about ever since I was a kid. So along on that twist and turn of wanting to be a motivational speaker, I've been playing guitar for a long time, and one of my very first CD got in the hands of a former consultant from NASA that discovered inherent frequency qualities within the music that actually help to harmonize energy within listeners and actually bring them into tune and into alignment with this thing called the quantum field, or this field of energy that we're all discovering that we're really magnificent expressions of. So when you ask what is a sound healer, well, basically, I think there's really two avenues in which humanity is being limited today, each and every one of us.
Hmm.
We are literally being limited by energy interrupters in our environment, from the over 80,000 man-made chemicals in our air, food, and water, the
Right.
electromagnetic fields, or what are commonly called EMFs, being produced by our technology, and we're literally jamming our signal. It's almost like listening to a radio, our favorite station, our favorite song, and there's all this static and noise, and you can't really hear the song. So uh, in my mind, what sound healing does is really finds a way to help people remove that static and the noise in their lives so that they can reduce their stress, improve their physical health, their well-being, their levels of consciousness, their memory, their focus, but also that right side of the brain, that intuitive, that creative aspect. The second area that I really address is those limiting thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions that we've all incorporated
Hmm.
into our operating system software of our minds on one level or another. And I use music as a tool to help people overwrite the programming that's not serving them from creating more successful and fulfilling lives. So, in essence, sorry to answer it in a long sort of way, a sound healer, in my mind, is somebody that uses music and sound to help people really create more successful, fulfilling, uh, lives where they can tap into their potential and really begin to access, this unlimited potential that's within each and every one of us.
Well, and you, you use a lot more than just music too, right? I mean, you actually share your insights and you teach and you use your voice as an instrument as well. Is that right?
Absolutely. As I discovered the gift, I realized that yes, my voice also contains this energy frequency, so to speak.
Mhm.
And then also just the fact, over my experience, I've learned a lot of things. I mean, I've always had a curiosity and a passion for life and an undying curiosity to learn the secrets of, what's this whole game about? What is the game of life really about? How do we play it? And how do we play it extremely well? So I remember a friend of mine gave me a book back, I think it was 1982, 83, called Illusions by Richard Bach.
Hmm.
And it talked about imagination, the power of imagination to create our lives. And that book inspired me to go out study different wisdom traditions, philosophies, pieces, and my father gives me a bad time to this day. He's like going, you always read all those heavy books, man. I said, it's just something I've always had a passion about. So there is a tremendous amount of what I call mindsets,
Mhm.
enlightened approaches to creating a more successful and fulfilling life.
Mhm. Wow. And it's amazing what you're saying because I mean, doesn't music have such a powerful influence in our lives? I mean, I remember actually when I was in high school, I think I was a sophomore in high school, and I actually I wrote a paper on because I was always the black sheep in school. I always wanted to contradict authority and be against all of the ways that everybody else was going. And so it was like, if somebody said, "No, music has influence on your life," just to be that menace, I was the one that said, "No, music doesn't have influence on your life." I actually wrote a paper and I convinced people of that. I think it was sophomore year. Just a couple years after that, I realized how powerful music really was in my life. I one day I actually that's when I got in my car and I drove to California, and I basically ran out of gas in Oceanside, and I was starting my life over, and that was about 7 years ago. And I looked up on my visor where all my CDs were, and I looked at all the CDs I had and all the CDs in my, CD case. And all the type of music I was listening to was exactly the type of person I had become over the previous 3 or 4 years before that. And that was my awakening. I was, I think, 18 at that time, and I said, wow, how powerful music really is in our lives. And for young people today that have no idea, they're just listening to this music that's full of, you know, um, really bad lyrics and very harmful intentions. And maybe it sounds good and it's like boom, 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 boom kind of thing. But you really listen to what it is, and it's like, man, and even on the radio, we're listening to these songs. I mean, what's your take on the influence of music and what you think about
Well,
that?
I think, really what we're talking about is the influence of vibration.
Mhm.
And, this universe was set in motion and vibration. If you go back and you look at the wisdom traditions, it talks about, in the beginning was the word. Well, whatever that word was, whether it was or hey, wake up or whatever, that was sound, that was vibration that kicked it all into motion. And, as I started delving in and getting an understanding of quantum physics and energy, realizing that everything is vibration and sound. In
Mhm.
fact, our thoughts produce sound. We just can't hear it because our ears have only been calibrated to receive a certain frequency range of sound, of vibration.
Right.
But if we were to expand our hearing ability, I think we'd be pretty surprised to hear what's being projected out there through all of our thoughts.
Right.
And I think this is one of the things that we really need to wake up to is just how powerful we truly are and how powerful our thoughts are, our beliefs, our perceptions, the words that we speak.
Mhm.
And yeah, music has been around and utilized for thousands of years, to help deepen people's spiritual connection, expand their awareness. It's been used in meditation, all kinds of different things. And but yet it brings us back to that core essence of what music is, which is vibration.
Mhm. Absolutely. And for everybody who's listening, Mark's website, I see you just got your brand new website up recently. Looks awesome.
Yeah, I had a little facelift, so to speak.
Yeah, looks great, man. It looks awesome. That website for everybody is markromeromusic.com, and go take a look at that. He's got some awesome samples there on his website, and as well, for everybody watching this, Mark's going to be teaching a class coming up very soon on the teachings of life. We'll have all the information below this video. But Mark, if you can, Can you give us all a little sample of your healing music so we can feel it for ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Um, you know, so basically, I get connected to these scientists that discover these frequencies in my music, and so I started initially doing health and wellness music to reduce stress and things like that. And then later, I was having a conversation with Dr. Jones, who was a former consultant to NASA, who discovered the frequencies coming through my music. And he asked me a question one day, which really changed my life forever and had a major impact on my focus and my work. And he asked me, he said, Mark, what do you think is the most potent of all the energy interrupters of them all? And, I'm thinking, Doc used to consult to NASA. It's got to be something like gamma radiation, infrared light, something cool like that. But his answer really surprised me when he said the most powerful energy interrupter of them all are our own limiting thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions
Right.
that we have imprinted into our subconscious mind, into the very fabric of our minds, the operating system software of our minds, really. And those are shaping and shifting our experience and ultimately cutting us off from the truth of who and what we really are, those limiting thoughts and stories. And I think we can all relate to them. So I started composing pieces of music with different positive intentions to help people shift that programming.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I want to play a piece. It's a very simple little piece, but it's a very powerful little piece. And it's really about opening up. It's about opening up to the truth of who and what you are.
Mm.
Each and every one of us is extremely powerful. We are the composers of our lives. We're composing our lives every day by what it is that we're thinking, believing, what our perceptions are, and then, of course, the actions that we take create the context for us to experience ourselves. So this piece is all about opening up to that, opening up to our magnificence and our unlimited potential. So I always ask people, hey, are you willing to set the intention to embody that? And I'm just going to assume everybody says yes that's viewing this.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would invite you to do is just breathe. Breathe while I play, and we'll meet on the other side of it. So just take a couple deep breaths. And there you go, a little piece for, I guess, the never-ending quest to, tap in to all of who and what we are. And it's a process, it's an unfolding.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I felt my vibration just, you know, totally calm down, relax. Do you ever see any colors come to your mind when you're playing at all?
it's not really something I experience through like physical senses. It's really hard for me to describe. People say, what do you see? I say, I don't really see anything. It's like I go someplace, like that's the only time I can ever really completely quiet my mind.
Mhm.
I'm one of those guys that's always, coming up with the next creative idea, the next, cool thing to do or whatever, and always brainstorming stuff. But when I play and I go into that state where I'm sharing those pieces, I mean, it's like I guess the word that shows up is emptiness.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
there's something beautiful that comes out of that space. I mean, for me personally,
Yeah.
and that definitely comes and radiates through the music.
Yeah.
So, but no, I can't say that I see colors or anything to that effect.
Yeah, I saw the color purple when you were playing, which is kind of a very strong color of royalty and grandness and luxury. And what I noticed right away too is it takes you like right into an automatic form of self-hypnosis or meditation, basically, which is like if you ever sat and stared at a fire or the ocean, the lapping waves of the ocean. I mean, that's nature's way of self-hypnotizing us to meditate, like you said, to clear our minds.
Right,
And
right.
uh, and that's fantastic. So cool. Thank you so much for sharing that.
No, it was my
Um,
pleasure. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to jam. Kind of unexpected. That's always fun. You never have to twist the arm of a guitarist to play, though. We're always ready to go.
yeah, that's cool. Again, for everybody, Mark's website is also going to be posted below the video, but it's markromeromusic.com. Go take a look at it, check it out. He's got some great stuff going on. Mark is also in the process of becoming a master teacher of life with the Panacea community, and he's teaching a wonderful class coming up. Let me get the name of it here. It is called Harmonize Your Life. Raise your manifesting vibration for a more prosperous, healthy, and joy filled life. And that is going to be on November 27th, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. So if you haven't subscribed yet to receive all the call-in information, go to the link below, theteachingsoflife.com, enter your email, and then you're going to be able to attend that class at no charge. So, Mark, I think what you're doing is amazing. I think your music is awesome. I think your message is just as powerful. I really look forward to your class on the 27th. Anything else you'd like to share with the viewers before we go?
There's always the piece that it's like we're especially 2012 and everything. Everybody talks about dates on the calendar and that we're just going to magically hit some date on the calendar and wake up and the world will be transformed. And as much as I'd love to believe that, I don't think it's a date on the calendar that's really going to shift things. Each and every one of us has come here to play the game of life. And we've all come here with a piece of music that is ours and ours inherently alone to express. And I believe that it is that music expressed, each and every one of us having the courage, moving past our blocks and, the things, the humanity stuff that shows up, and
Hmm.
having the courage to express that music, that's what's going to be the catalyst for change. It's really up to each and every one of us. So this might be, shall we say, a little gentle nudge of maybe a little bit of harassment, a little bit of pressure on all of us,
Yeah.
really, to bring out that music, to share that music, because it's so important. Whether it's at home, with your children, or in your community, or at work, at the office, or on the big stage, like what you're doing in creating this whole program. I mean, it is so important for each and every one of us to play that music if we only could see how powerful it really is. So go out there and share it and play it, and we'll see what opens up when we all, step into that role.
Nice, thanks. And Mark has an amazing story as well, a story of transformation, and he's going to share that in more detail on the call. Mark, thanks again, man. I really appreciate having you. I look forward to chatting with you in November. Um, Thanks again, man. You're doing amazing things for the world. Keep it up.
Well, hey, thank you, and thank you for providing the space. And you know what? November will be here before we know it.
For sure, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right,
Look forward.
everybody, again, please go check out Mark's website. He's got some um, CDs there you can order, some classes you can get involved with. It's markromeromusic.com. Also, check out theteachingsoflife.com for his class coming up, and stay tuned for the next episode of Conscious Intuitive Living. Thank you so much. Everybody, take care.
All right.